All right. I was muted there for a second. What's going on, Phil?
How are you, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You ready to do this? First off, I want to kick things off. I want to shout out everybody in the chat. I want to say shout out Sez, shout out Phil Batway, shout out Sharon, shout out Wilson. Shout out Wilson, shout out Chester, Trey. What's going on, man? I see Pee Wee in the chat. Yo, guys, Saturday night's main event happened tonight. It was a exciting show, to say the least. I was at a wedding for most of the show, so I was only able to really catch like glimpses of the show itself. But what I did see was just absolutely outstanding. Steffi, hey, James, what's going on, brother? How are you? But yeah, everything that I caught, Phil, it was very like glimpses of things and just trying to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Trying to keep in the loop of everything that was actually happening. But everything that I seen was beyond exciting. And yes, Phil Batway said, Phil, glad you're on the stream with Billy. Guys, we've been trying so hard to make it happen with Phil.
Yeah.
And it finally worked. And, because I wasn't able to do the watch along tonight, I was like, okay, I need to go live regardless of that fact. Like, I needed to do something. And obviously for post shows, you guys obviously have a lot of options. So the fact that a lot of you guys have came here, chosen us tonight, means the absolute world. So I just got to kickstart things and say, hey, guys, we do have a super chat goal. If you guys would like to help with that goal, you guys are obviously more than welcome to. But the number one thing to do is smash the like button and definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, if you guys could do one more thing and go give Phil a subscribe if you guys would like to. He's obviously in the chat. If you have not subscribed to him, I definitely suggest going to do so because Phil is on his way. We're now on the road to 1,000 subscribers because Phil's already hit the 500 mark.
I have hit the 500. As of today, I believe it was either 508 or 507.
Oh.
I did a short earlier today, a short version of my SNME predictions. Linked it to the full-fledged video of it. The full-fledged video has one match less.
Yeah, because of the
actual thing, because of the Selena thing and
yep.
the whole match that was announced last night on SmackDown. But we're here, we're doing the damn thing. Look, at the end of the day, we're gonna have a huge night tomorrow as well because there are two other events that are gonna be happening for AEW and
NXT.
WWE and NXT for WWE's sake as well. So it's gonna be insane. But we're here tonight to talk about Saturday night's main event. While Billy was at a wedding, I sat down, was able to watch the entire thing in its entirety. Too many damn commercials for my liking, as I'm pretty sure you guys are all aware. But we're here to do it, so let's get down to it. If you guys want to follow me and subscribe, the name is actually not in the box, I don't think. No, it's not. I have the stream right here next to me. But it's Philly Man on all platforms.
Phil,
and,
there's
in the chat. So
they're saying your mic is low and they can barely hear you.
How about now?
Can we hear him now?
If you guys can hear me now, I probably just turned it up a bit.
Yeah, I definitely hear you a lot more clear myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
sorry about that, but we're here and we're ready to go.
Yeah, so, man, Saturday night's main event, I mean, let's talk about it, dude. I mean, we kicked things off with that tag match kind of right away, and that tag match was, obviously one of the most anticipated matches going into the show. My personal thought, I thought that there was a potential that it was going to be the main event. All right, hold on real fast before we go. They're saying even turn it up a little bit louder because you're all the way up on my end.
Yeah, now it's all the way up.
Now it's all the way up?
My actual mic settings, so
yeah. All right, hold on. I wonder if I can go in here. Phil, talk for me.
Hello. Yes.
Okay. Now we can't even hear him. All right. Now we can hear him. Yep.
Okay.
Now we're good.
Okay.
We just want to get this situated real fast, guys.
Yeah, my mic is all the way up in terms of the gain and all that, so hopefully.
Well, I think we should be able to hear you because I hear you loud and clear. So
okay.
Let me just check it on YouTube real fast. We just want to get this situated real fast, guys.
Yeah, my mic is all the way up.
Oh yeah. No, I can hear you.
Yeah,
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All
But
right.
yes, that tag team match was definitely one of the most anticipated matches on the entire night, and I too thought that could have been a main event type caliber match, especially with what they were teasing with the third van situation and all that stuff, and we'll definitely have a discussion on that as well. So yes, 100% agree with you there.
Yeah, man. So obviously one of the bigger things that we'll talk about is obviously Bronson Reed showed up. For everybody who isn't aware or maybe didn't watch Saturday night's main event, Bronson Reed is now the third member of the new faction between Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. He is now a part of that, and it's actually it's kind of interesting, right? Because a lot of people had speculated Braun Breaker. I know Justin Kennington. I'm not sure if he's here right now, but he is definitely one of those people that did say like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be Bronson. It's going to be Bronson." Now, it's just very interesting, I think, that WWE chose to go this route. I'm not 100% sure how I necessarily feel about it because of past stuff that had happened. All right, we're still getting that it's low.
And still getting that it's low.
And I hear.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. All right, so while Phil fixes that for a second, guys, I figure I'll talk to you guys for a second. King Lee Productions is in the chat, and that's my guy. Just want to say, hey. All right. I wonder if I can do anything on my end, because on my end, it's picking up just fine. I'm not really having any problems hearing Phil. So, Phil, it sounds okay on your end? Yeah, man. Does it sound fine on your end?
I hear myself. I know I'm doing everything I can with this mic setting in order to try to figure it out.
Yeah, right now to me it sounds fine.
Yeah, I mean,
how are we sounding right now? Because were you just listening on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounded good, right?
Yeah, from what I can tell, I can hear myself perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're just going to run with it then. Guys, we're hearing each other just fine, and on top of that, I've checked YouTube, and it sounds fine there.
Yeah, hold on 1 sec. It's a little bit behind, but... Yeah, and it sounded good, right? I am actually kind of low.
Yeah, you are.
What's going on with this?
That's so weird. That is so weird.
This is the HyperX Quadcast 2, man. I mean, this mic is a very good quality type mic. I mean, I don't really think...
Yeah, guys, I'm hearing that Phil is kind of low.
I mean, I get that it's a... Oh, God.
Yeah, I had a
Now
muted...
it just completely went blank.
Oh, did we lose Phil? I think we may have lost him. Oh, man. This stinks. Hold on. Let's try and get him back real fast. Hi. See if that does it. Yeah, that's King Lee. That's what I'm catching here. Also just wanted to say real fast. All right. I may or may not. Okay. Phil, are you back? Oh, Phil, now we can't hear you at all. Yeah, guys, stay patient with us 1 second. We're going to figure this out. Let me see if maybe, yeah, he's all the way up. Okay, you're good. We're waiting 1 second. Oh, Phil, is that you? Oh, we can't hear you right now.
Can you guys please hear me?
There we go. There we go. There we go.
I'll have to use the mic on the actual headset then, if anything.
Dude, that sounds good.
All right, then I'll definitely do that because I'll figure out my mic later with the actual mic itself. Then.
All right, let's just make sure real fast that everybody, guys, go ahead, Phil, if you want to talk for a second, just that so we can make it clear.
That sounds good. Come on. I can hear myself on here too, so I guess we'll do it that way.
Yeah. So it sounded good on your end?
Yeah.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I'm so sorry about this, guys. I'll figure it out on my end, if anything, and maybe I'll have Billy coach me on some mic usage skills or whatever. But
yeah, no, everybody's still saying it sounds low. Barely can hear Phil.
Damn it!
All right, hold on one second. Let's just get this situated. I wonder if maybe I could switch it on my end real fast because I'm getting a pickup of him. Go ahead and talk, Phil.
Hello?
How's he sound, guys?
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
I wonder if now you maybe sound a little bit better. So I down mixed him to mono just to see, right? Just to see. I appreciate you guys sticking with us because we're going to get to this shortly.
I appreciate you guys even, staying with this.
Everybody's saying they're here,
Okay. We'll roll with it, please. Gods of all the
Phil,
universes.
Are you talking?
Yes.
Oh, now I can't hear you. How you like
God
that?
damn it. What happened?
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Okay. Hold on. I got it. Hold on. I'm bringing him back.
We'll roll with it, please. Gods.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. We're good.
I hear myself here. We're good.
Yeah, we're
Please,
good.
for the love of God, let's do this.
You love to see it. All right, guys.
God, I gotta figure things out, but
all right,
we'll figure it out in due time.
All right, so let's get into the show now. Let's move into
it.
All right. So look,
tag team match. We were there.
Tag team match. Yes, we were talking about the tag team match. We obviously had CM Punk, Sami Zayn taking on Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, which was always going to be an exciting match. Those boys absolutely. I mean, they tore the house down, Phil.
Yes, yes, they did.
Which is obviously a given and expected out of these guys. But the match itself is actually not the really big talking point. And that big talking point is actually Bronson Reed, who is now the new member of that faction. And kind of what I was talking about earlier is I feel a certain way about it. But, Phil, I'll go ahead and ask you really fast your thoughts on the show itself.
Yeah, so the overall show in itself, in terms of the pacing-wise, other than the commercials, like I stated earlier, was very well done. The matches, in terms of time-wise, it varied between certain situations with everything. This to me felt like, and it most likely was, the longest match of the entire night. They went through the entire process of the tag team match. We saw a very good chemistry between Seth and Braun Breaker within this thing. Sami and Punk, they did their thing as well. They started off red hot. When we heard CM Punk's music hit, that crowd was electric in every single way imaginable. And he didn't stop to, shake anybody's hands or anything like that, or slap anybody's hands as he was walking down that curved ramp. He just went right to the ring. And he's just like, you know what, screw it. Or I'm getting in this ring and I'm fighting. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. They scrapped. They got things in gear. And then the tag team match was very well done for what it was. And then that ending was even more special.
Yeah, so, talking about it a little bit, I guess I'll go ahead and ask your thoughts next. How do you feel about the Bronson Reed situation, like, in general? Are you a fan of him being that third member? Are you a fan of Bronson Reed being a part of that? If not, why? If so, why? Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, I firstly expected Bronson Reed to come back into the fold in WWE at some point. Did
Hmm.
I expect him to be a part of this whole entire situation with Seth and Braun Breaker? No, I didn't. I thought he was going to be in something completely different, but I like it. I like where we're going with this, only because at the end of the day, yeah, sure, um, we might already have some sort of like powerhouse type deal with Braun Breaker being into the fold, but Braun Breaker is that young guy that Seth Rollins is trying to mold, while Bronson Reed, that's going to take me a little bit now. Braun Breaker and
Breaker
Bronson
Bronson
Reed.
Reed. I know. I know. That one's tough.
But um, but now that Bronson Reed is here, he can really be that powerhouse and truly be that heater, so to speak, for Seth Rollins. And that if Seth Rollins does not want to fight his battles, he can send in Bronson Reed over here to take care of the battles for him. This
Yeah.
is going to be really good for him. And being paired up with somebody like Seth Rollins and even Paul Heyman, who he can easily learn from the tutelage of there. That's going to be great for Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed is going to fit really well with this group. Honestly, this group became even more badass than it already was, so I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys some quick instant thoughts. Also, big shout out to Right Hand Cam. He's been a member for a month now, so just want to give a big shout out to him real fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. When it comes down to it, am I a fan of it? Yeah, of course. I love Bronson Reed. I think he fits into the group. Did do I actually like? Can I say I'm actually a fan of it though? I don't believe I can. The reason why is because of the history between Seth Rollins and also between Bronson Reed,
That's what a lot
right?
of people are saying. Yeah.
One of the biggest things about it is we give a lot of crap to AEW for the way that they go about choosing certain things, if that makes sense. The way they go about their booking decisions, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Regardless of that fact, this is WWE in some regards having to tell you why he joined him, knowing the history, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the last time that these two were in the ring with each other, they were absolutely annihilating one another, right? So, right now, where it stands, obviously they didn't give us any explanation tonight on why he joined. So, therefore, when you look at it from that eye, you must say, oh, while yes, it's great, it also doesn't make any sense. So WWE now has to make sense of that and kind of put those two and two together. Now, if they don't do that, then we're going to have a problem. That's when we kind of roll into it. But if they do, and obviously WWE has done a really good job at continuously telling us, like, hey, trust us. You know what I mean?
Right.
That
Yeah.
and that, truth be told, is the difference between them and AEW. Is it right now? It feels like WWE has that trust. You know what I mean? But regardless of that fact, right now where it stands, and when I'm looking, just because I can never be too certain, I am a fan of it, but I also have to call that out for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Bronson Reed, I mean, he absolutely went out there and destroyed CM Punk, and I'm not gonna lie, as a Punk guy myself, I am kind of hurt. Not a fan of that, right?
Yeah, he destroyed Phil tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Phil, you took a beating. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
he he definitely did. But I completely understand where you're coming from, especially with like probably one of the last times you even seen Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, you know, in the same ring with each other. Bronson Reed took Seth Rollins took 6 tsunamis from the guy. So I
Yeah,
mean, like that, there's that whole entire situation there. They will definitely have to explain to us why this partnership is really going to be a thing after all the history these two men have been through. Um, but I'm confident only because at the end of the day, WWE has done very well by this group so far, even if it only has been just a few subtle appearances here and there. But overall, I think this is going to be a great spot for Bronson Reed. He's going to learn a lot from being with Seth and Paul Heyman, most of all,
for sure.
realistically.
Absolutely. I do want to read a super chat that we got. And sorry, guys, I didn't have it set up on this screen in particular to where the super chats would pop up. So I do just appreciate you guys bearing with me. Like I said, I was at a wedding all day. Didn't really have a lot of time to do the things to get it set up. Phil decided to do this with me last night. We were very last minute about it, so just very much appreciate you guys sticking with me. But we did get a super chat from our boy Miles. Miles is absolutely outstanding. He dropped a $2 super chat. He said, your thoughts on Cole calling them the Coalition. So, Phil, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so they, after everything was said and done with the tag team match, Bronson Reed got into the ring, they embraced and everything, hands held high, and Michael Cole said that this is basically a dangerous coalition. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the true and final name for this group for Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, but I don't actually mind it if that is actually going to be the thing. A lot of people are trying to draw comparisons to Evolution or the Dangerous Alliance, and just how they're just trying to see the similarities and differences with those two factions from the past and bring it into this one. And I completely understand where people are coming from with the comparisons. But if you really want to make something completely different from this group compared to any other factions that Seth Rollins has led or has started in the past, you do something with a different name. You have something that you can call your own. And a coalition is not really all that bad of an instance to do. Seth Rollins, he has a plan. He has a goal. He has a mindset. And if you're going to be putting somebody like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed into the mix to put forth the future of WWE after Seth is done doing what he needs to do, coalition, it actually kind of does have like a little bit of a nice ring to it. So I don't mind it personally.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't dislike the name whatsoever. If that is the route that they do choose to go, I'm actually kind of perfectly fine with that. I wouldn't be against it. Obviously, this is a group that it was always going to take shape. It was always going to find a name, right? The Coalition doesn't sound bad. Kind of like you said, the comparisons to the Dangerous Alliance, the comparisons to Evolution, they've all had, probably, let's be real here, when people heard those names at first, probably weren't the biggest fans, probably had some doubters, probably had some skeptics, right? I mean, that's just very simple stuff. It's kind of like the same thing with the Final Testament. If you guys remember, that name was obviously a little iffy at the time. There's been numerous factions that have had iffy names. Now, obviously, again, we don't know 100% if this is the name. WWE has not branded that the name just yet. But if that is the name, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not against it. I'm actually a fan of it because, again, obviously, they were always going to need a name eventually. Right. My man Cam in the chat, he said, did you take notes? He was talking about my wedding that I went to earlier. Fun fact, Cam, if you want me to be 1,000% transparent, I did take notes. I have a girlfriend downstairs, so I'll just let you guys know. Maybe I'm not too far off. Maybe I'm not. But come on now. Maybe I'm not too far off.
Okay,
maybe I'm not.
I see you, Billy.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not, brother. Maybe I'm not. Maybe
I see you.
Maybe I went to that wedding and I got a couple little worms in my tummy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I shed a tear when they were dancing on the dance floor. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's always the thing.
Maybe I was thinking about something. Who knows? But okay, yeah. So obviously, big fan of that tag team match. We were obviously very big fans of everything that followed suit. Again, my personal gripe with it right now is just the history between Bronson and Seth. But overall, man, I mean, just what a Miles said, way to go, Billy. Respect. Appreciate you, Miles. But obviously, like what we seen there was just amazing. Loved it. Good stuff. Good way to kick off, by the way. That was just the kickoff.
That was the starting point. And like I said, I thought that really could have been a contender for the main event. But they started off with it, which honestly, good for them because it started off the crowd red hot. And honestly, the crowd was very good all night long tonight. So
yeah, man. I mean, from the sounds of it, Tampa was fire, right?
Yeah.
Tampa sounded really good. But I do want to kind of shift gears for a moment. Well, obviously, we won't spend a lot of time on this match, but there was obviously some things to talk about. But, we'll talk about Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. I'll start off by getting your thoughts, Phil.
Yeah, this match wasn't okay. I don't want to sound too harsh here, but with this match being completely last minute from like the actual announcement of this thing from last night's SmackDown to tonight, and with it really only getting around 5 minutes, I mean, they really didn't give the ladies that much time to really do something special here. Um, Chelsea Green, the crowd was red hot for her. People want to see Chelsea Green get that Women's United States Championship title back. Nothing against Zelina Vega. In fact, I was all for Zelina Vega winning the United States Championship when she did, like 4 weeks ago at this point. But people love Chelsea Green, and I mean that's just a known fact at this point. But people also, I mean, you have your Zelina fans out there that really love what they're doing right now with her as the United States champion. So it's a very iffy situation. I did hear some boos in the crowd tonight for Zelina Vega after everything was happening there. I just think it was because of an off night between both of them. It really wasn't too special of a match. But overall, when you have 5 matches against somebody and not a lot of time to do it, especially with this last appearance that you have with them, it really wasn't always going to be the best possible thing. But overall, Zelina retained as she should, and now I just want something new and different for Zelina as she continues her reign.
Yeah, no, I fully 1,000% agree. I think obviously, I see a lot of people talking about it. There was a positioning where, Chelsea Green got busted open because of I hate using the word botch because it's just humans, naturally making mistakes, and I feel like we put this stigma in this word on it just to, do it because they're pro wrestlers. But truth be told, it's just them, mistakes happen. This is live TV. Things happen. Mess ups happen. But we did see Chelsea Green get busted open from what looked like a potential 619 maneuver, looking like that's where she actually got that nosebleed from.
Yeah, it was a 619. Zelina got tangled in the ropes a little bit, and then as she got tangled up in the rope, she kind of just decided to kick.
Yeah,
Chelsea
I know.
Face.
She just kicked her. I was like, oh no.
And then she was busted open, and that set up for the the Avalanche Code Red, which is always beautiful. The Code Red by Zelina Vega is always beautiful, especially because it's an homage to her cousin Amazing Red. So it's just amazing whenever she does it. But yeah, she kicked her the hard way, and it busted her open pretty bad.
But
so
they got this time right. They got all this time that the tag team match didn't necessarily get, which is obviously a little funky considering that this match was technically just made official yesterday.
Yeah.
And Phil talked about it. He did a prediction video where he said that he didn't even have the match in the prediction video. I also did one. I did a live stream and did not have that match in my predictions because at the time it was not even a thing.
I recorded it for Thursday.
You know what I'm saying? I did mine on Wednesday.
So
I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Zelina Vega obviously gets the win. Phil, you kind of said it there a moment ago. They need to do something. Get Zelina Vega away from Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green can go on and do something else. She wants to get involved. Kind of find her a good feud with a rising babyface or something like that. That would always be the right thing to do. But overall, regardless of that fact, I do think it is time for Zelina to move on. The one thing about this championship is that it feels like it's never got the legitimate start that it needed. It still feels like a very normal, just, we defend it on Fridays and that's it. It hasn't gotten that big spotlight. And yes, they tried to give it there for a second on Saturday night's main event, but even then, it didn't, because of how rushed it was, it couldn't be anything too special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people were just content with the 4 matches that we had going into this before that one was even added. But obviously WWE did that. But also another thing happened. Now that we're talking about the women, I don't kind of want to go away from this. But July 13th,
Yes.
WWE announced Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution 2, July 13th. Same weekend as another Saturday Night's main event that's going to be taking place in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this whole little thing with one of my friends, Anthony. So Anthony, I know you're not in chat right now, but I will definitely be talking to you later, my man, because he's around the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Yeah.
And he's very happy about it. Like the first time Evolution was around back in 2018, he said, whenever Evolution 2 comes back around, I'm going. And it better happen in Atlanta, because if it is happening in Atlanta, I'm 100% going.
Well,
So
your
he
boy
basically
Anthony's lucky.
Yeah, so he basically made a pact to himself 7 years ago that whenever Evolution 2 comes around, he's going 100%. And luckily, it's going to where he is relatively located. So it's just absolutely fantastic for him. Even though at first it was slated for my neck of the woods here in Connecticut, and then it was rumored to be here in Connecticut. They took it away from us and they put it in Atlanta. Don't blame you though, because Atlanta, Georgia is a hell of a lot of a better town
Yeah, right.
than Uncasville, Connecticut. So
Absolutely.
so I mean, good for you, Anthony. You're gonna have a hell of a time watching all the ladies kill it. And I'll have to wait another time for a WWE PLE to come to my neck of the woods. We haven't had a main roster PLE since Money in the Bank 2019. So
Wow.
it's So considering that WWE is based in Connecticut, you would think they'd be here more often. But
For sure.
WWE has only been here in terms of weekly programming, like Raw and SmackDown, only 6 times in the last 4 years. So it's hard here in CT. But overall, great stuff for Evolution being back, because that's fantastic for them.
Yeah, man, super excited for Evolution. That's taking place on July 13th. If you guys are not aware, maybe you guys didn't see the announcement, and like Phil said, it's going to be alongside Saturday night's main event, taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. That'll be a lot of fun. Just nice that the women get all that shine, right?
Yes.
That's what we're looking for there.
Very much so. So hopefully at least 8 matches we should get, hopefully, and round that out. I should not see any... all of those women's championships should be on the line at that night. 100%.
Absolutely, 1,000%. I agree with you. So let's go ahead and kind of shift gears here a little bit. I know we're kind of moving at a little bit of fast race, but I promise at the end you guys will kind of hear us talk a little bit more. Just this show, in some regards, felt fast, and the next match we obviously seen was between R-Truth or Ron Cena, if you guys will, and we seen Ron Cena. Ron Killings or R-Truth taking on John Cena, which I actually I swear I thought, there were 3 matches that out of 4 that I figured could have main evented tonight, and I definitely thought that John Cena would have main evented this show, but obviously WWE had different plans, which we will talk about at the very end of the show.
Yep.
But we seen these guys, they go head up. It's obviously, R-Truth coming out there in a very Cena attire, right? He said it. He said, "I'm going to beat the hustle, loyalty, and respect back into this man." So, Phil, I will ask you, what were your thoughts? How did you feel about it?
First of all, people do not want to boo John Cena.
No.
They don't. They don't.
There's too much respect for him now.
It was evident tonight. I mean, we hear the trumpets go off and, the lights go out because it's just a black Tron with John Cena's name on it. And they were cheering the man like crazy. And then they were chanting John Cena sucks, because that's what you do when the trumpets go out. It's crazy. I mean, people respect this man too much to boo him on his retirement tour. And Cena can do whatever he wants at this point, and people are going to cheer for it. We saw a kick to the balls to R-Truth tonight, and people were going bonkers over it. Like it's
Which
crazy.
Is crazy
what this
because
man can do.
R-Truth is obviously like WWE's fan favorite.
He was a representation of the fans tonight. R-Truth, John Cena. That's like the whole thing. It was all based around that. The childhood hero of R-Truth is John Cena, and that's what this whole entire thing was about. But I will say this: R-Truth coming out to John Cena's music with the whole Ron Cena and the whole thing. I'm like, R-Truth, you're
I
you're
mean,
a treasure. You're a
yeah.
national treasure.
R-Truth is legitimately that. He is a national treasure. He is one of my favorites. Obviously, this guy is going out there to put on the best show possible alongside everybody else. You know what I mean? And he did just that. Him and both John Cena absolutely did their thing. What happened tonight was exactly what was supposed to happen, right?
Yeah,
Because
this match was short, sweet, and to the point.
you know what I mean? And here's the next thing, right? He does the 5-knuckle shuffle, R-Truth does, and he's doing the AA and stuff. It makes it's very easy to just get over with those couple things. Now, the one thing that I will say is all of us expected like this heavy beatdown, right? We expected this vicious beatdown. That's what we all wanted out of Cena, right? A lot of people were speculating like, oh, it'll be like this horrible monstrosity that, John Cena, he puts R-Truth through this. And again, kind of what we've seen here is John Cena just living up to everything that he's said more and more. It's that you're going to get nothing. If you're expecting me to beat him down, I'm listening to what you're saying on the internet, and I'm not giving that to you.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
You're not getting that. But what I will do is the same thing that I've been doing, and I'm going to low blow him, and I am going to I'm going to hit him with the title, which everybody seems to dislike, right? Obviously, we were all very underwhelmed at Backlash. We were also very underwhelmed at the night 2 of WrestleMania, right? So it's just so funny that we have John Cena actually playing this character and saying, like, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. I'm interested to get your thoughts on that in particular, that, John Cena really is giving us nothing right now. Interested on your thoughts.
When Cena said that he's just going to ruin professional wrestling for us, he meant it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, he follows everyone on Twitter for a reason. Because at the end of the day, we all have a voice. At the end of the day, we all have our opinions out there on the internet, on X, and whatever he sees on his timeline, depending on what we want out of this John Cena retirement tour, up until the point when Cena does turn babyface again, because at some point it's gonna have to happen. I mean, I don't think this is gonna last forever, him being a heel. He's going to take what we give him and just spit it out right back in our faces and say, look, you're not going to be getting that. We see the whole entire situation with him getting the championship and about to hit R-Truth with it. And then we all think he's going to be a good guy because he gives it back to the referee, everybody's happy, and then a swift kick right to the balls. And I'm like, all right, yep, see, there you go. Perfect, because that's exactly what should be happening here, because we're trying to figure out how we can get this man to be booed, and then they cheer him again. So, I mean, they continue to do it, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where right now they refuse to boo the guy because of the respect that we have for John Cena.
Yeah.
It's very much that simple. This guy is a legend. He's somebody that we are all, no matter what he does, going to enjoy. And truth be told, if you really want the truth, if John Cena would have done this run as a babyface, they probably had a better chance at him getting booed.
Yeah, or at least 50-50, what we normally get when it comes down to John Cena stuff.
Now you've given us really what we've wanted for so long. And yes, we are all sitting here saying, like, oh, we're underwhelmed, et cetera, but really all we wanted was heel Cena. We know at the end of the day it's all storyline, and he's not actually going to go walk away with this title for years on years and years, right? He may walk away for a little bit with it, just kind of be done, say, maybe in the middle of the summer, say, oh, I'm done, maybe August or something like that, and just be like, yeah, I'm out of here, and just kind of leave with it then, and then Cody will force his hand back. That's kind of how I would do it. But again, it's what we've all wanted. It's what we've all been wanting to see since, most of us were kids, right? And
And-
that was always that was always the root of Cena. You know, when we were kids, we cheered him, and as we got older and we developed watching the show more, we always wanted to see this version of him, and we never got it. And finally, they give it to us. And you're expecting me to boo him, and I promise you, like, I'm not going to. I am going to appreciate what you're showing me because it's something that I've never seen before.
And people have to realize that in terms of let's just my time of watching professional wrestling, when I started watching this thing, I started right at the peak of John Cena, like
I was about to say,
like,
because you were right, peak Cena and Rock.
right at the peak when John Cena was literally when he said that he was winning a lot and people hated it. That's when I first started watching, like 2009, 2010. Like that was when Cena was right at the top of things,
Yeah.
and all I saw was John Cena winning, and all I saw was like that fruity pebble like John Cena that The Rock was trying to go through.
Good old
And
fruity
that's
pebble
when I
Cena.
started.
Good old fruity
And that's
pebble
when I
Cena.
started. So like I mean I've seen that side of Cena and then nothing else before that or anything like that to even try to get a heel Cena out of me. I've always wanted to heel Cena out of me mainly because of the fact that I just never seen it before. I would never
Yeah.
actually want to I would want to see what that would be like. And ever since the Chris Van Vliet interview, when he was literally saying what a heel John Cena would have looked like during that time of The Rock, when that would happen,
And it's the
I'm like,
exact
that would have
opposite
been
of
great.
that.
I'm
But
like, that would have been great.
It's
But
even
that's
the
the
exact
opposite of it.
It's
Yeah.
even the exact opposite of that because he just
Yeah.
stayed the same,
Yeah.
just reversed everything.
Yeah.
Just real fast, again, because we are going to talk about John Cena here in a couple more minutes. I do want to just revert back to the chat real fast and say, I want to just address some of you guys. I see Cam in the chat. He said we haven't had a PLE since SummerSlam 23, right, Billy? Yes, Cam, here in Detroit, we haven't had a PLE since SummerSlam 23. Also, Miles says, R-Truth, brother, never change. You're effing awesome. Yeah, that is very true. That man is the GOAT.
I will always love and respect R-Truth for what he is. He may be just a comedy character as of right now, but
what it is.
This man had 2 weeks since Backlash to build something here with John Cena, and they literally put the feud on his back, and that promo last night on SmackDown did everything it needed for me and more, and it came down to this match.
I agree.
Like R-Truth, he'll always have a special place in my heart, and honestly, he is the best comedy character around.
Oh, for sure.
He is the best comedy character in all of WWE, professional wrestling, what have you. He'll always be at the top for me.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. That man is just a national treasure. Chester, I do see you in the chat. He's given his ratings, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys at the end of the show we will be doing our ratings like we normally do and getting that. But this is now a good time for me to tell you guys that if you would like, definitely be sure to like this stream. Like this stream as much as you possibly can. And on top of that, if you are new here, and because I know that we've had people kind of popping in and out, I've seen, the viewership kind of go up, go down, et cetera, et cetera. If you guys are not subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps out a bunch. We are growing a awesome community over here. I mean, I don't even like calling it a community. I like saying family because that's what you guys feel like. I went onto my my post earlier and I shared a picture of me and my girlfriend, which is something that I would do to like a regular social media. So I feel like I'm growing a family here. And it's so cool. I've made some awesome friends, like my man Phil here. That we get to do this stuff with. It's so amazing. But
it's great.
The other thing, if you guys want, obviously never have to. We do have a super chat goal. If you guys want to help us reach that, you guys it would always be appreciated. And everything that you guys give here goes directly back into the show. Just want to make that very clear. Sharon says she loves this stream. Sharon, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you big time. Phil is somebody who I've been a fan of, obviously getting to know him over time and stuff like that. He's somebody that I enjoy his takes. I enjoy his passion for wrestling. He is somebody that I think everybody, again, if you're new here and maybe you haven't subscribed to me, or maybe you are subscribed to me and haven't subscribed to Phil, I definitely suggest you guys going to do that because this man is outstanding. His takes are amazing.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
So
Look,
just go give him some love, man.
yeah, this whole entire thing, meeting Billy, going through this whole entire process of starting the YouTube journey over the course of the last, I believe it's definitely we're definitely in the 10-month range right now, or the 11-month range at some point. I'm almost a year into doing YouTube, and over the course of my first year starting YouTube, if it wasn't for meeting somebody like Billy, or if it wasn't, continuing the acquaintance, now friendship with Ango, and then doing the show on Wednesdays, which hopefully I'll be back soon for.
Yes, we're hoping that we can get Phil back in there on Wednesdays, man.
It's just been a blast, and honestly, meeting up with the chat with you guys, and talking out with you guys, and just having fun talking professional wrestling. That's all what we're here to do, and it's just been a blast each and every single step of the way. So I appreciate Billy for even having me on here, and I appreciate Billy for just allowing me to speak my own opinion on there, because at the end of the day, we may all have our difference of opinions, or the same opinions at some points, but at the end of the day, as long as we have that platform to share it on, it's a great place to be.
Yeah, man, I agree 100%. I will just say a big thank you to Phil. We genuinely do appreciate you over here, man. And sorry, every so often we get a little sappy. Obviously, you see it sometimes because you do hang out in the chat. I am just a sappy person. That's just who I am. I can't help it, man. So I give people flowers when I can, and I try to be as uplifting and nice as I possibly can. That's just what I do over on this channel. I try to make it feel like homey vibes. That's the vibes that I try to give off. Home.
Look, at the end of the day, even though the wrestling world can be very toxic at times, there are definitely some good eggs out there in the world in terms of content creation. And if you find that good egg in your circle and you want to keep that good egg in your circle, it's the best possible thing for you. Because at the end of the day, in terms of the content creation world in this space, we all want to see each other succeed. And I feel like that's the best possible way to go about doing this whole thing called content creation. If you succeed, I succeed, and we can all succeed together as long as we all keep things cordial. So it's a great way to continue doing business here.
Absolutely. Keeping things cordial, keeping things friendly, keeping things kind. That is the route. That is the way we like to go. But I'm not going to spend not any more time, talking about that right now, because I know you guys are here. I know it's late. It's 11 p.m. over here on the East Coast. I'm not sure what it is for you guys, but we are here. It is 11 p.m. It's getting late. Another thing, that happened on the show tonight was that steel cage match.
Yes.
Damian Priest taking on Drew McIntyre in a steel cage, which obviously this has been a long-going feud. We obviously seen them wrestle at WrestleMania, and we seen what they did there. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, two very, very serious competitors that are just outstanding, right? I think that's fair to say. These guys, they are two of the best competitors. It's always nice, and I just have to preface this. It's always nice on every show that we get where there's that one match that doesn't necessarily need a championship, that you just naturally get given to you in just good fashion storytelling, and these guys just brutally dislike one another, right? I've always been a fan of those kind of matches. If you can make something good without there being any type of actual stipulation to make it good, I think that's where creativity really starts to shine. I think a person who, really exudes that energy was somebody like The Undertaker. Never really had the title, but his stories were always kind of involved around it, things like that. Bray Wyatt is another example of somebody who was just better without the title, didn't necessarily need it. Drew McIntyre right now is somebody who we'd like to have a title, right? Because we're just fans of Drew McIntyre, but he doesn't need it, right? He doesn't need it. Damian Priest, it doesn't need it. These guys are just telling good old-fashioned stories. And it's fun, it's easy, it's simple, it's quick to skim through and just enjoy, right?
Yes.
So
What?
I will ask Phil. I apologize, I'm cutting
No,
you off.
go ahead.
What are your thoughts on this steel cage match?
Look, I loved everything about what Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest have done with each other over the course of the last few months. When this entire situation started, the whole running rumor of Drew McIntyre getting a match with Damian Priest for WrestleMania. A lot of people were not really all that hyped about it. They really thought that Drew McIntyre could be doing a hell of a lot more and better than Damian Priest. But as the weeks progressed until we got to the match at WrestleMania, and then putting the stipulation of it being the hardcore street fight type feel, I'm like, guys, this is going to be a sleeper match on the WrestleMania card. Trust me, because if you have somebody like Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre go at it with that kind of stipulation, they're gonna knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
They're gonna absolutely kill it.
If you give those guys the ball, they're going to run with it.
Yeah, and they absolutely got it, and they ran with it, and it grand slam, because that went out of the ballpark, and somebody caught it on the outside. I mean, it's awesome what they were doing here, and then they ended it inside a steel cage. First of all, I have to say, this has to end it. And like this should definitely be the end of it, because they have fun on for long enough now, and they definitely do deserve to go their separate ways.
Yes.
Even though it definitely seems like Drew McIntyre was written off television tonight.
Yes, yes.
With
that
all
is
that,
obviously the big talking point. Real fast. I do want to say, Miles. I see Miles, our good friend, dropped another $2 super chat. Shout out to Miles, always just coming through in the clutch. Beyond appreciated, Miles. You are absolutely outstanding, brother. I can't thank you enough. He says, interesting callback to the concerto of Edge's removal. So
yes.
Now that you brought that up, kind of speaking about the Drew McIntyre potentially being written off of TV, it actually is kind of interesting that they kind of did the same thing here to write Drew off of TV. Drew is somebody who, and I'll just be honest, I don't think there's any contract issues or anything like that. Maybe just taking some time off. And if that is the case, I just want everybody to understand that Drew has had one of the best, if not the best, character arc that we have seen since Triple H took over. He is somebody that does truthfully deserve some kind of break away from this. Go see your family. Go spend time with them. You know, go enjoy that life. So if Drew is taking a step away, I'm completely fine with it. I have nothing wrong with it. You know, kind of like you said, let Damian move on. We can move him into that United States Championship picture, kind of get him involved a little more on SmackDown in that regard. But just one thing to remember is these two dudes absolutely destroyed it. I mean, they were outstanding top to bottom. You know what I mean? Their feud, again, just good old-fashioned storytelling. I love to see it. It's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
They had Jesse Ventura on commentary for this match.
Yeah.
And I thought he brought a different element to all
Dude,
all of this,
Jesse's
because
like one of the best heel commentators
ever. Yeah. I mean, look, when Damian Priest walked out of the cage, the man was calling him a coward, because he felt like at the end of the day, like, if you're going to fight in a steel cage,
That's
fight
not what
in
you
that
do.
steel cage, and you either win by pinfall or you can't escape by over the top. I mean, that's fine too, but you fight in that cage. I mean, he took the easy way out, according to Jesse. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see where Damian Priest goes from here. I personally had Drew McIntyre winning this thing, because I thought if you are going to continue on with Drew McIntyre with everything that's happened so far, you can just have Drew McIntyre go on, and you can still go after the United States Championship with him, because he did win a number one contenders 4-way to get a one-on-one match, and then all of a sudden it turned into a fatal 4-way anyway.
Yep, never got that one-on-one match.
Yeah, so I thought that that's where they could have went with things. But they went with Damian Priest instead. And I don't mind Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest is awesome. It's just something that it was very much interesting to see where things were going with that. And like you said, if he is taking time off with everything, with the cold concerto and the chair to the throat, good for him, man. Because Drew McIntyre has been going balls to the wall lately, and he definitely does deserve a little bit of time for himself. So we'll see in due time. But for the time that this match got, a hell of a steel cage match in the co-main event of the night.
Man, they tore the house down. Those two are just absolutely outstanding. I'm a big fan of both gentlemen. One of my first videos that actually kind of popped off was because of Drew McIntyre and talking about how he had the most logical heel turn of all time.
Yeah.
So I personally have a lot of love for Drew McIntyre, as he is just outstanding. Like you said, though, this match was, truth be told, very, very good for the time that it got. Having Jesse Ventura on commentary really added a special feel to it, which is always nice because obviously, with Saturday night's main event, as of recent, they have been bringing the governor, Jesse the Body Ventura, onto commentary for just, one match, but he is doing some things with Joe Tessitore over on the sideline
over on the side stage and everything like that, which is cool.
Yes.
We didn't see any boas tonight.
Kind
of felt a little bit off there, not seeing the signature boa from Jesse, but maybe he's just looking at home. I don't know,
but regardless of the fact, it was really good.
Him being at Saturday Night's main event is absolutely, a tradition that they should continue doing. Absolutely. And shout out to Lillian Garcia, who was the ring announcer tonight. So and from what I hear, she'll be the announcer for every Saturday Night's main event,
which
moving
is good
forward.
Because
so
she is
good.
Just that classic voice that we all love hearing. So that match, it was great. And real fast, want to give a big shout out to my boy S4G Kuda. He said, "In my dorm watching Billy. Wonderful Saturday night." Brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate you big time. Phil really came here to help out too. So much love, Phil. This man has been tearing it down with us. But regardless of that, Phil, before I move on, this will be my last time because we are about to sweep into the main event. Guys, like, subscribe. Those are the two things that I tell everybody to do. If you guys can do anything, those are the number one things. Because when you guys like the stream, right, what it does is it sends YouTube, it tells YouTube, like, hey, there are people that are in here, they're enjoying what they're seeing. Hey, and YouTube says, okay, maybe we should push that out a little bit more to people. Maybe we should show a couple more people about this stream, which ultimately brings more people in. That is the number one thing that you guys can do. But on top of that, guys, I do have a super chat goal. We are at 2 out of 5 super chats, so if you guys would like, feel free to drop a super chat. It definitely helps out. You guys are never obligated, never anything like that, but everything that you guys do, like I said, I mean, it really goes back 100% into this show and everything that we do here. And maybe, just maybe, Phil, we can get you, hooked up with some new equipment here eventually, and we can, we can help you out, because that's what we would like to do. Because Phil, I genuinely enjoy, we're joking about it. I see it, know, but I genuinely do enjoy having you on. I think our conversations are always really, really well. So, if we can make you look good, sound good, you already look good, brother. You know what I mean.
Look, I'm definitely going to have to take a look into this XLR, into this hyper quadcast mic, because from what I've had this for over the course of the last few months, it's been working perfectly fine. I don't know what's just happening here, but well, I'll get that situated. But yes, I am definitely continuing the grind. Trying to get better equipment and everything like that. And we'll get there when we get there. But ultimately, we'll get there when we get there. But for sure, it's gonna be a grind, and I love it. So
me too, man. Me too. David said, "Always a good time when Phil is on." I agree.
Phil, I appreciate it, David.
Phil makes things a little bit easier to flow through too. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because at the end of the day, the content creation stuff, it is so much fun. But at the end of the day, it can be exhausting sometimes when you're sitting here doing it by yourself and you don't really have anybody to speak to or talk to. So again, just Phil making it super easy. But okay, we are at the main event. We are at the final course. Which one thing I have to preface is right before the steel cage match, there was a segment between John Cena and Jey Uso, and in that segment, John Cena had told Jey Uso that, man, wouldn't it be so weird if you lost, and to a quote unquote YouTuber. Wouldn't that actually ruin wrestling? And, Jay had told John, oh, it's been a long time. Last time I seen you, I was throwing you out of the Royal Rumble, etc., right? It was very interesting because, again, we haven't really seen an interaction between these two up until this point since the Royal Rumble, right? We haven't seen that interaction, but they have that interaction, and John Cena ultimately tells him, I'll be keeping a close eye on your match tonight, which I'll tell you at the moment, I didn't really think anything of. I was just kind of thinking like, oh, they're just probably trying to add John Cena on a little bit more, trying to get him on the show a little more. Yeah. That's okay. I wasn't really thinking too much of it.
Me neither. I really wasn't thinking what we got tonight would actually transpire at all, but it definitely added something.
So, yeah, we had the match tonight. It was between Logan Paul and Jey Uso. They were the main event, which is crazy to say. I know somebody like Karrion Kross maybe not be happy with this main event because Logan Paul was currently in it.
Hey, look, you have the moniker main event Jey Uso for a reason, okay?
Exactly.
They continue to... Normally, they have continued to put Jey Uso not in the main event when it comes down to, the moniker before he was even a world champion. They either put him in the beginning of the show or somewhere in the middle. And I'm like, look, if you're going to have the moniker of main event Jey Uso...
Make him the main event.
Put him in the main event. See what he can do. Do something with him there. And then they gave him the world title, and I'm like, okay, now you gave him the world championship.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can continue to live up to your word and actually do something with it. And they gave him the main event tonight. So kudos to Jey Uso there. I mean, there were a lot of contenders for either opening up the show or main eventing the show. And especially with how stacked the card really was, I could have seen this either happen at the beginning of the show. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect this to main event. I didn't. So kudos to him.
Yeah, no, I actually did not expect it to main event myself. I was not 100% sure if they were actually going to do that or not, but obviously they chose to do it. It's nice. Logan Paul, very funny. He's getting the main event, right?
Considering what happened, though, I definitely see the reason as to why.
Now I understand why. Right, exactly. But in the moment, finding out that they were going to main event, it was like, really?
Yeah.
So we had the match take place, Logan Paul and Jey Uso. It was a very Jey Uso match, right?
Yeah.
Jey Uso getting his spots in, doing what he needs to do. Logan Paul obviously getting his spots in. Logan is obviously somebody who maybe benefits a little bit more from, these quicker matches because he's kind of working at more of a fast rate, getting all of his stuff in, not having to really go the distance or anything like that, not pushing that envelope too much on Logan Paul, but still making him look good in these kind of quicker, easier matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they went out there and they put on what was a good main event. But the big talking point is not what actually took place in the match. It is what took place after. And after the match, guys, during the match, I should say, we seen John Cena, who was pulling the ref's leg during Jey Uso's pinfall that he was trying to give to Logan Paul. And it was kind of funny because even before the camera pinned, you could hear the crowd kind of roar at the fact that John Cena was coming out. And I kind of knew instantly. I was like, oh, there's somebody there to pull the ref out.
The crowd instantly popped, and I'm like, what the hell? What happened? Like, what's happening here?
Why
and then all of a
so
sudden, I just see the referee slide out the ring. I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? Cena. There he is.
uh-huh.
I was like,
and
okay.
it was really funny again because this is something that was just kind of made more clear tonight. It wasn't anything that was like had been drawn up, through the storylines or anything like that. It was just something that they did tonight. Again, thinking nothing of, right? I was not thinking anything of this. So John Cena comes out there and he goes to, attack Jey Uso. But almost instantly, I mean, just about instantly, we get Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes returned.
Huge
tonight.
pop.
Huge pop. The fans and me even, I must say, I even very much missed Cody. Cody had been missed because, he gave himself the title of the quarterback. And when we think of a quarterback, you think of somebody who is running the offense. You think of somebody who is the leader. You think of somebody who is the relier. What everybody, when they have problems, they tend to fall on to Cody. So he's given himself that moniker. And, recently one of the big things that we had been talking about was, WWE not necessarily hitting on all cylinders to make things maybe feel as important, this year. Starting with, obviously, when everything kind of happened with the Elimination Chamber thing, and then, we got no signs of The Rock. There were just so many things that made what happened feel a little lackluster, and it's kind of rubbed people wrong about pro wrestling in 2025. But Cody Rhodes has kind of been that backpack, right? He's been that guy that you can lean on, that guy that you can go to be like, okay, what he is doing is amazing. What he is doing, I enjoy. Even if you hate him or dislike him, whatever the case is, right? You do understand, like, when you look at him, he is the leader. He is the guy. He 100% is WWE. He bleeds it. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
he goes out there and he returns tonight, and the crowd just, like you said, erupted for this gentleman. Very missed, to say the least.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it was just going to be a simple attack. Jey was obviously going to retain, which he ultimately did. Jey Uso did retain his World Heavyweight Championship. But Cody Rhodes went to go help him up, and he had a mic in his hand. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. Why is he going to talk, like, after the show? Is he going to talk during? Like, what are they going to do here? But you kind of see Logan Paul scurry out of the ring real fast, right? Because he got hit with a spear, 1, 2, 3, done and over with. Or the splash, spear splash, 1, 2, 3. You see Logan scurry out of the ring, and he's aligned with John Cena, which is kind of weird because they're both standing there, and it's like, what do these two have in common, right? But then you realize, oh, they have everything in common.
Yeah.
Right? So Cody Rhodes gets on the mic. He says, okay, you got your guy, you got Logan. I got my brother, my friend, Jey Uso, and we'll see you guys at Money in the Bank in a tag team match. So I've rambled on there for a second, but I will ask you, Phil, what are your thoughts about Cody's return? What were your thoughts on the matches? Go ahead. I'll give you some time.
The match was for what it was. I mean, it really was it was a solid thing. It was a solid match for Jey Uso, a solid match for Logan Paul. I really didn't expect anything too groundbreaking. But in terms of what we got here with the Cena interference and then Cody coming back and Cody hitting the crossroads on Cena so that we can just get them out of there to ultimately get Jey Uso the win, it was very good for what it was. Now, the actual promo afterwards with everything, the tag team match for Money in the Bank, I do expect there to be a little bit more added to this. I don't think it's just going to be 2-on-2. There is a little bit more to possibly be added. We could see possibly Jimmy Uso still team with his brother, make it a 6-man tag. We could in due time, but we'll see if that's actually going to be
Let's bring in Travis Scott and Bad Bunny. I'm kidding, guys. I'd love to see Bad Bunny.
Honestly,
Scott, I'm not sure.
honestly, I do believe that Travis Scott is probably going to get involved
Yeah,
here.
I kind of figured that's kind of what you were gonna go to there. I do
It,
think the same thing.
it's the going rumor right now. I don't really mean to like just completely take rumors as gospel, but in terms of like how you only have 2 more weeks to do this thing, right? It's 2 more weeks until Money in the Bank, so like they're trying to relatively and quicken things up to get something for Money in the Bank, and look, I'll be honest. I much would have rather have seen, them going the history route with a possible John Cena CM Punk match. But I mean, like I said, we only have 2 weeks left until Money in the Bank.
Right.
I would much rather like to see John Cena and CM Punk go at it when they actually have a little bit more time to build something. And yeah, so overall, not bad for what it is. Cody coming back was desperately needed in my eyes because even though John Cena, he's doing his thing as the undisputed WWE champion right now, we need that big babyface back on Friday Night SmackDown.
Very badly.
And Cody Rhodes is that guy. Whether you like him or whether you don't, Cody Rhodes has been that guy for the WWE, honestly, ever since he came back at WrestleMania 38. And honestly, there's really no turning back at this point when it comes down to Cody and him being that massive babyface that he is. I love seeing him back. I think this is going to be a solid time seeing him back on WWE programming. And we'll build to that tag team match or 6-man tag when we get there. But overall, solid stuff here. Just a very abrupt ending because honestly, as soon as Cody says, "We'll see you at Money in the Bank," news comes right on. So I was like, "Okay, thanks."
It ended the same way over on Peacock too. I mean, it was the exact same. It just kind of cut directly.
It's
a
hard cut at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah, because of it being a special and not so much a actual PLE. They do the hard cut 10 o'clock. You're out. That's just what it is. When it comes to those kind of more,
it's national television. They always have that hard cut right there.
Exactly. It's what we see on SmackDown too with the USA Network. You know what
I'm
saying? It's no different whatsoever.
But yeah, it is a solid match for what it was. Wasn't really anything too groundbreaking, but it got to what we needed to get, which was the tag team match.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm now. So I think we can both agree that the ending to that was just outstanding. We loved it. It's just nice to have Cody back.
Yeah, I mean he's been needed for a little while now, and I was hoping that he would get back into the fold of WWE during the build for Money in the Bank. But then all of a sudden I realized, we're only 2 weeks away from the goddamn thing. So I mean, he had to show up sooner rather than later.
And he sure enough did. So, guys, that is going to conclude the review, right? I don't often do reviews, but I do enjoy them. Do not get me wrong, but I have so much fun doing the watch-alongs. So it's kind of hard to just follow up and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do a review right after. Like, at that point, you're like, 3-4 hours live. It gets a little tiring.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I do genuinely enjoy the reviews. I just know with reviews, you're kind of in a lot of competition with people. And, with the watch-alongs, you're not necessarily in too much competition. There are people that tend to do it quite often, but you kind of steer away from competition. You have more likely of a chance of getting seen or getting heard by somebody new. You know what I'm saying? So, but the reviews are fun. Do not get me wrong. So we're going to go ahead and conclude that there. So I think Phil and I, we can agree. Saturday night's main event, Phil, I'll start with you. What was your rating on the show?
For, what we normally expect out of a Saturday night's main event and what we actually got tonight, I'm going to give this a solid, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think, honestly, 8 out of 10 is very fair for my eyes, mainly because we got some good in-ring action for the time that we got tonight, but ultimately things did progress, and we honestly just had some solid stuff all the way around. -1 for too many commercials, and -1 for Jesse Ventura calling Damian Priest a coward. Because you know what, I like Damian Priest, and I do not like that. So there you go, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this show a 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, the commercials, hearing that problem from everybody, I didn't necessarily experience that because I didn't really watch it, but I understand that probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So I can imagine just knowing somebody who watches wrestling and knows and understands what it's like to have all those commercials played. Yeah, go ahead and drop that rating because I know. I understand the feeling.
4 commercials in a half hour, bro. I mean, that's a little excessive for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Also, the other reason why is because of the women's match that didn't necessarily hit home for me maybe the way that I wanted it to. It just felt a little lackluster. Didn't necessarily feel like it needed to happen. But overall, I'm now going to bring it to the chat. I'm going to ask you guys, what is your ratings there? What did you guys think of the show? This is something that we normally do. Obviously, Phil, this is something that we always tend to do on my channel over here. So I see a 9 out of 10. I see an 8 out of 10. I see a 9 out of 10. And after, guys, we'll answer some questions if you guys want us to.
8.5 by Miles.
Yep.
Yeah,
Miles.
it was a solid show tonight. Like, it really wasn't.
No, it was not bad by any
It wasn't
stretch.
anything to write home about, but it definitely wasn't bad.
No, I agree. It definitely wasn't bad at all. Justin says 9 out of 10. Byron says 9 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, that's a super solid rating for you guys. Sharon says even the NFL has a lot of commercials. Yeah, they do. Because the NFL and WWE, truth be told, at the end of the day, are really no different than one another.
Right.
But Sharon also says a 9 out of 10. But, all right, so it looks like we got a lot of the ratings. People enjoyed the show tonight, which is good. I'm super glad. I'm super happy that I was able to get on live today and actually kick it with you guys, hang out, talk pro wrestling. That was something that I knew I had this wedding. I was like, man, I hope I get home in time. I hope, I can at least make the last match. And I literally got home right before the last match started. But while I was driving in the car, I had my phone. Hooked up on my little car mount or whatever, and I had it on, just being able to listen to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up, for some of these questions. Also, guys, if you would like, feel free. We have the super chats open, so if you guys want to go ahead and help reach that goal, we're at 2 out of 5 super chats. That is all up to you guys. You guys are more than welcome to. Obviously, the number one thing is definitely being sure to hit that like button, also being sure to subscribe to the channel. Those are the 2 most important things that you guys can do. But now, as I'm done spieling my life away here, right? Because that's what you do with this content creation stuff. You just kind of talk and talk and talk, and then you talk a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for you guys. If you guys have any questions, maybe we'll spend, 5-10 minutes answering some of your guys' questions. And it looked like David had one for you. He said, question for Phil. Who does he got going to the NBA Finals? Phil, I know you're not an NBA guy. Who could it be?
Maybe you guys can help me out with this. I mean, who do we have left? Because guys, I'll be honest, I'm not.
Okay, so
guy.
there is 4 teams left. There is in the West. There is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, I heard.
It's Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then on the East Coast, it's the New York Knicks, and it is also the Indiana Pacers. So
well, first of all, fuck the Knicks. I don't like the Knicks. No.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm gonna go with the Pacers because, like I said, fuck the Knicks, and then I will be going with the Thunder.
Okay, all right, there you go. There you have it.
And I'll say Thunder and.
What do you say? One more time.
I'll say Thunder and 6.
Thunder and 6. All right, there we go.
I'll say that.
All right, there we go. There we go.
And if I'm right, then I'll start watching basketball next year.
There you go. You guys heard it. All
you
right.
you guys can help me pick a team.
So next, we actually have my boy Miles, who says we must have a watch along with you and Phil. We're a great duo. Miles, I agree. Me and Phil are a great duo. We are trying to
We've
figure
been
out.
trying.
Yeah, this is something that we have been trying to figure out because my biggest problem was just getting that third monitor set up, and then we've just kind of been running into some things. But it does look like we're not going to run into that problem this upcoming week, and we should be good to go on Tuesday for our NXT watch along. I would like to bring Phil on a Monday or a Friday because those are obviously the exciting shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm down for any day realistically because
Okay.
I mean the
Yeah, you're
shows are
normally off
after
by
I get
work.
out of work,
Right.
so
Yeah.
we're good there. But yeah, I mean we've just been trying to figure it out. I mean I have been on a watch along, for
Yeah.
NXT a couple of times.
Mhm.
It's just Billy was trying to do some new stuff with his setup and over here, and
Yeah, trying to get my
couldn't
software
hear
right.
me, couldn't hear him, couldn't hear the audio from the show. So we'll get it squared away. But yes,
Yeah.
100%. I definitely want to be back.
Yeah, no, we're we're gonna figure that out. So, Justin says night one main event to SummerSlam is Punk, Roman, and Hikuleo versus Seth, Braun, and Bronson. Night two main event Cody versus Cena for the WWE Championship. What are your thoughts on that potentially, Phil?
Punk, Roman, and Hikuleo versus Seth, Braun, and Bronson.
Say-
That's a very interesting 6-man tag. When it comes down to Roman, I definitely see a possibility where he could be linked up with Seth Rollins.
Absolutely.
I think it could be a singles capacity or it could be a 6-man, but Hikuleo is the one that's catching my eye in terms of all of those 6 men. I don't know where Hikuleo is. All I knew is that he was just training in the performance center before he can just get right into the fold of things for WWE. But it's a very interesting 6-man tag, and I wouldn't be too upset by that. But they would definitely have to try to link those 3 men together. And by those 3, I mean Roman, Punk, and Hikuleo, because that seems like a random pairing to say the least.
For sure.
But then the main event of night 2 being Cody and Cena for the title. I mean that Cody and Cena are going to face again eventually. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. Main event of SummerSlam night 2, I could see it. But as of right now, according to the dates of John Cena's retirement tour, it doesn't even seem like SummerSlam's even a part of the plans. So I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to tell. Obviously, John Cena has he's kind of been announcing dates as they come, just kind of putting them out whenever he wants to. But yeah, no, Justin, to your statement, with Hikuleo, I think we're just obviously going to see him start off in NXT. If you want me to be 100% honest.
Yeah, I think he's for that.
Yeah,
purpose.
I don't think that we'll see him up on the main roster anytime soon. But I do like that statement. It's obviously not a bad one at all. But we do have some more questions. We have one from our good friend Chester. He says, when do we see Roman back? I know, I'll answer real fast. My thought is, sometime after Money in the Bank, kind of leading up to SummerSlam, I think would be a good time to see him back. It's time for Roman to come back. He's obviously just, again, one of those guys that you miss on TV. He's kind of been leading the charge for so many years. You get used to seeing him, and then suddenly he's gone, and he's not around as much, and then you start to miss him. It's no different than what happened to Stone Cold. It's no different than what happened to The Rock. It's no different than what happened to Cena. You walk away for so long, people start to miss you a little bit more. It's so funny that we talk about it like this. Roman was once one of the most hated characters in WWE, and suddenly, here we are singing such a different praise today. You know what I mean?
It's the age-old saying, absence make the heart grow fonder.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, during the reign of Roman Reigns, I could not stand the man. right? But
Mm-hmm.
I ultimately loved what the Tribal Chief character was all about because
Me
this
too.
was the best version of Roman Reigns, bar none. And, you know, now that we don't have Roman Reigns around that much anymore, we want to see him. And it's just the age old saying of heart grows fonder when you're not around anymore. But
Absolutely.
I think Roman's gonna be back soon. From what I can tell, it would have to be around SummerSlam that you would think because
Yeah. Money in the Bank's only 2 weeks away.
you can't have one of the biggest events of the summer, especially with it being the first ever 2 night SummerSlam, without one of the marquee human beings in your company, that being Roman Reigns. So it has to be somewhere around there for sure. But if it's not around SummerSlam, then I honestly will be a little bit worried, considering that, I know Roman is slowing it down. I mean, he'll be. Let's face it, guys. I mean, he is closer to the end of his run than what we are actually kind of anticipating. But we need to see Roman back just a little bit more than what we see him as of right now. So
Absolutely.
hopefully soon, very
Yeah.
much soon.
Yeah, I agree. But I agree 1000%. Guys, we've been live for about an hour and a half now. I think we're going to go ahead and call it for the night. I just want to say, again, a big thank you to everybody who contributed, to everybody who came and hung out, to everybody who liked the stream, to everybody who subscribed. Just a big shout out to all of you guys. Big shout out to Phil. Phil, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You were my lifesaver tonight. You have no idea. So the goal here is to have Phil back on the watch-alongs because I do enjoy Phil's presence when we are doing the watch-alongs. So I just want to say a big thank you to all the members that are in the chat. I'm beat. I'm exhausted. I had that wedding earlier. I'm just naturally tired. But we will be back tomorrow for NXT Battleground. I'll be doing a watch-along. So if you guys would like to tune in, you guys are more than welcome to. Hopefully, maybe. I'm not saying 100%, but I'd like to believe that maybe I can figure something out to get Phil on there for tomorrow's watch along. But if not, I know you'll probably be watching AEW.
I'm gonna try to keep track of both, honestly. So it's definitely gonna be a fun time for me. I'll figure out some way to do it.
But I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a stream tonight. Just want to give a big shout out, Miles, Sharon, Justin, David, Chester, Pee Wee, Byron. Seen there were some more people in here. Right hand Cam, Phil Batway, Wilson. I seen Mar in the chat, Trevo in the chat, Bonkers. There were so many people that just showed up tonight and really stood out. You guys are my boy Kuda, he was in there. I just have to give a big shout out to all you guys. There's my is this my cousin? I think that's my cousin Austin. He said, "Thank you, Billy and Bill. Salute, dope stream. Thank you so much."
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Chester said he'll be in the chat tomorrow. Can't wait to see you guys there. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday night. Make sure to go get some rest. And if you guys are celebrating Memorial Day tomorrow, before Monday, which obviously some people may celebrate tomorrow, definitely be sure to stay safe and be careful. And much love to all of you guys. And if you guys are not, definitely be sure to go subscribe to Phil. Phil, if you can write your YouTube in the chat.
Yes.
For people. If you could link it.
If I can link it, that is a good idea. Let's copy the link there. Go back into your stream.
Yep.
And if I don't think it's going to be clickable. I don't think it's going to be a clickable link. That's the only problem.
Let me go grab it. I'll grab it. I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody. Hold on.
It's PhillyMet _ if you guys can find it on there. You can just type in PhillyMet, and it will be there. But from what Billy is going to be doing, it'll be a clickable link on his end. So
yes, it will be clickable on my end.
I posted an entire thing, and it's not clickable. So
that's all right. We're going to make it clickable. We're going to make this very clickable. All right.
But I mean, it was at 5:08 before the stream even started, and it's 5:11 now. So
Oh, is it?
3 of you must have done it. So
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Cool. That means it's working. So yeah, guys, if you want, the link is now in the chat. Definitely make sure that you're going and subscribing to my boy Phil.
There you go. It's there now for everybody.
Yes. But we are going to go ahead and call it a stream. Phil, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I'll make sure to put your YouTube in the description as well for people who tune into this later on. But much love to you guys. We'll be talking to you later, and I will see you guys tomorrow.